Behind every kick of the ball, there has to be a thought. Dennis Bergkamp. It's a quote that inspired the creation of Behind Every Kick, and here's a message from our chairman to explain more.
Hi guys, hope you're well. I'm Adam Wilson, chairman of Behind Every Kick. For those of you who don't know us yet, we're a London-based charity that aspires to level the playing field. We do this by not only offering opportunities for young people to explore their future interests, but also equipping them with the skills required to make best use of those opportunities. Now, the way that we do this is through sport. So we work predominantly with Year 11 students, both boys and girls from a range of sports clubs and schools across the city, empowering them to become better performers on the pitch, as well as better people off of it. Now, over the course of COVID, we've developed a masterclass series, which we've titled Dealing with a Curveball. The series has looked at skills like CV writing and interviewing, and we even had 2 current Olympians join us to share their experience of how to successfully transition. We're going to share a taster of the series with you now. We'd love to get your thoughts and keep the conversation going. So thanks a lot. Bye.
Building on the theme of change from the previous session, our young people discussed the impact of different mindsets with 2 Olympians who were due to compete in Tokyo this year.
I really do believe that a bad decision can be made good by the actions of it.
Don't take it for granted. Really appreciate it. Work hard. Put another 10-20% on top. All those things you didn't know when it's your first time.
Before the final session about momentum, Adam caught up with Richie on Instagram Live to talk about this subject and also reflect back on the masterclass series as a whole.
I'm just going to tell the guys a little bit about the programme and about the masterclass series that we've been doing, and then I'll get you to introduce yourself in a moment, if that's okay. So for those of you who haven't been part of the masterclass series or haven't joined us so far, this is ultimately a 5-week programme that we've run for our young people, of which Richie is one of those, to try and support them during lockdown and make sure that we're supporting them in every way that we can as Behind Every Kick. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Adam, I'm chairman of the charity, and I've had the fortune of working with Richie over the last 5 weeks. So do you want to introduce yourself, Richie?
Yeah, as you know, my name is Richie, mentioned several times. I'm 17 years old, and I would say I'm a student of the Behind Every Connect, the Behind Every Kick Connect. I did the Behind Every Kick development a 1.5 years ago, if I'm not correct, and and I've just continued till now, and yeah.
Top stuff. And today is obviously our final session, where we're going to be talking around this topic of momentum. And you always have some great sort of ideas and insights, Richie, and it's always interesting to get to know what you think about a particular topic. And I wondered what came to your mind when you hear the word momentum. If you were sort of going to define it, what would you define it as?
Oh, I think
it's a tricky one, right?
Keep going at a good quality, you know. Like it's hard to define it, you know, because in momentum you keep going, but there's a difference between momentum and resilience, because you can keep going, however you're not as good as at it. So with momentum, it's more of you know, you got the quality to keep going and using that momentum. We have another word called consistent. So for an example, like in table tennis, if you're rallying, you know, and you haven't stopped rallying for like over 200 hits, that's good momentum. You know. So yeah, something like that.
Like it. And football's obviously your sport. Can you think of a time when maybe you've had momentum, or maybe momentum's gone against you at all?
Oh, of course, momentum straight from the kickoff. You know, you build up momentum, and
nice.
like when you're playing football, you don't want to stop. Like half time, I hate half time because you might be at the top of the peak during half time, and that's the momentum that you built. But then it gradually goes down during half time, and you come back on the pitch a bit sluggish and whatnot, and then you got to build it back up.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to keep that momentum consistent.
Absolutely. No, that's a really, really nice definition, and it's definitely, I think, what we've obviously been trying to build as part of the masterclass series with you guys. So how can we start taking some positive steps in the right direction, even though we are stuck in the house, so that when we come out of this, or when you come out of this, you're kind of ready to hit the ground running, right? And you also mentioned about resilience there, and I wondered if there was anything from sort of the masterclass series that stands out for you, if there's a particular conversation or a particular skill that you've learned over the last 5 weeks that's really stuck with you.
I would say change, the topic on change. I think that's stuck with me, you know, because it's something that we're all going through right now, you know, and it's a thing, how do you adapt to the change? You know, so like some people might take this into like to learn new skills, and you know, they throughout the whole of lockdown they'll be, you know, resilient in a way to learn more skills and whatnot, or even keeping up with the coursework for school. So, and that class, it was like, you see how some people take change into a different perspective. Some might take it into a negative, some might take it into a positive. You know, it's the way it adapts, and I think that stood out for me because I'm still going through change right now. You know, this year I'm 18, and I think that's the biggest change of my life because I'm going to be officially an adult. You know.
And is there anything that you've done either through the program or just otherwise that's helped you deal with this change? So lockdown as an event, is there anything you've done that you think has meant that you've handled it particularly well?
I think just getting through it, you know. I think the masterclass as well, looking forward to do something on a Monday, you know, even if it's just one day, you know, during lockdown. Just keeping up with the coursework, you know, it's a big change from school to home, you know, because I hate working at home. I don't see my bedroom as a work environment or any part of the house, you know. And so I think you got to learn and adapt to the change in a way.
Yeah, definitely. And you were on the session with the Olympians, right? And you were also on the CV session.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there was anything specifically from those two sessions that you found interesting or that you maybe remember. I think for me, they were two really interesting sessions where we obviously had some outside guests, and I know you asked some great questions of both guests. So yeah, just intrigued to hear anything that you might remember from those.
Of course, again, how you know, two athletes, they're going through a big change of their life, you know. Missing the Olympics this year is probably one of the biggest change because then they got to wait another year when normally it's like every 4 years, you know. And I think learning how they adapt and whatnot, and how I think Phil, the rugby player, saying how this change actually is, you know, better off, even though he's missing the rugby time, he's actually enjoying his time with his son. And that's something that, you know, you take in a positive way. So I think that was a good class as well.
Awesome. And I'm intrigued, obviously you're an ambitious guy, you've got some big goals, you've got some things you want to achieve in the future. Is there anything in particular at the moment that you're working on or that you perhaps want additional support with that you'd like to explore further?
Within the masterclass or in general?
Yeah, just generally, just you and your development, right? We've got to know you pretty well over the last few sort of years. I'm just intrigued to know kind of what it is that you're seeing as your biggest kind of focus at the moment, if there is one.
I think it's just after school, man, just, you know, get a career. You know, I don't want to just sit at home, be lazy, you know. I just want to get something where I can just, you know, enjoy life, you know. It's the way of life, to be honest. It's survival.
Definitely. I think I lost you a little bit there, but I think you were saying around you just want to make good use of that time, right? And you were obviously on the session last week. I wondered if there was anything in particular around your CV that maybe you thought you might change and try and improve following Paul's feedback. I know there's a couple of tweaks that you suggested might be appropriate for you.
Yeah, of course. I think looking at CVs, is hard because everyone's different. Everyone writes their CV differently, and you do question in the back of your mind, like, why is my CV different to that person? I think that class was important to me because not only did I got turned down for my first job, I think to know me as a person as well. What about me as a person instead of writing what they want. So I think that was a good tip taken from there. And then hopefully this summer, I'll update it and then get a summer job.
Absolutely. And doing stuff like this is a great way of getting yourself out there, right? This is something else that you can get on your CV that you can say you've done. You never know who's watching. I know we've got a cricket coach, Rob Taylor, old teammate of mine on here, interested just to see what we're working on. So I think it's cool that you've sort of signed up to do this, and hope it's the first of many Instagram lives that we do together. I had one final question for you just before we bring things to a close, and that was, if you were to go through lockdown again, so if you were to have a 5-6 week period like this again, is there a particular skill that you might want to focus on, or something that you might do differently if you had this time again?
Probably make sure I stack up all the toilet paper I can get. Nah, I'm joking. Nah, of course, there are skills that I do feel I think I can learn from this lockdown. I love Spanish. I talk Spanish sometimes in the house. No one understands it, and I think that's something that I want to learn and be more fluent in. But of course, there's many others I would want to learn during lockdown. I think there's too many that you can't pick from. I think it's a way of finding the motivation to do it. This is my first lockdown. I hope there's not another lockdown like this because it's sunny outside right now. I don't think I can handle it. Man.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And I think that motivation point is a great one. I mean, we're obviously lucky enough to spend some time hearing what you have to say and know that you are a motivated guy. You wouldn't be on here doing this if it wasn't for that. So, I mean, it's a massive thank you from me for doing this. For those of you who are watching, those young people that are watching, Richie and I are now going to jump onto the Hangout and have a longer conversation with the rest of our young people about this topic of sort of momentum and how we make sure that when we come out of lockdown and get back to normality, we're ready to really smash whatever it is we're trying to achieve, whatever our goals are. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. Richie, thanks again for getting involved. We'll definitely be keeping you all in the loop with what the plan is beyond this masterclass series. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll speak to you soon, Richie. All right, the link's in the bio, so we'll speak to you then.
Already in a bit.
Top man. See you later. Bye.
And here are some more thoughts from others involved in the masterclass series.
I look forward to the sessions because they're with people who are like-minded. I come here and it's people that get what I mean. And I'm getting lots of information, like the CV workshop. That really helped me, so I've updated my CV now and it looks so much better.
People who you don't even know but you're comfortable with. Because I might need to do a call with 10 other people who I don't even know. And these sessions, they help. They help you to build your skills and the type of person you are. Even if I don't have a call for 2 more years, I'll remember this session and I'll use it and I'll adapt it.
Staying positive throughout change, that stuck with me. Because sometimes I just see the negative in things, or when I talk about it, it comes across, it has negative connotations when I'm saying the things. So just changing my language to sound more positive and optimistic, that feels a healthier way to go, which I got from you guys.
To be able to build on this work, Behind Every Kick have an exciting match funding opportunity beginning on the 23rd of June. Funds raised will be doubled by our partner, the Childhood Trust.